Welcome to Happy Hill, the podcast. We deliver meaningful content to grow your faith, well-being, and lifestyle. Hey neighbor, I'm your favorite neighbor, Jay Murray, lifestyle coach, inspiring others to develop self-worth through leadership applications that will enable them to live in purpose. Welcome to the neighborhood. Happy Hill, the podcast. Welcome back to the neighborhood family. I am your favorite neighbor, Jay Murray, and you are tuned into Happy Hill, the podcast. This is our series on leadership. We call it School of Leadership, And thank you for joining us back here in the neighborhood. And thank you for your support. Thank you for your support. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and like. Cut those notifications on, and do me a favor, family. Share this with someone. Share this with someone. Uh, if you feel that this has been benefiting you and been helping you to gain or sharpen your leadership skills, share this with someone, especially a young person, because I truly believe that my vision for the series is to empower the leader within you, but also raise up the next generation of leaders. Raise up the next generation of leaders. So, we've been talking about leadership from a lot of different angles. But if I had to kind of put a umbrella over it, or some type of overarching theme, we've been talking about self leadership, about developing yourself, about boosting your confidence, about really leaning in to some of your discomfort in a way to overcome failure. And today we're going to continue on that journey, continue on that discussion, but we're going to kind of zero in on a particular, as I say, a self leadership trait or a character trait. And we're going to really hone in around perseverance. And how do you press forward? How do you really continue to demonstrate grit? Perseverance is about really pushing forward. It's about showing grit. It's about to continue to show up, right? It's continually showing up and knowing that, hey, things are not right. You may not get it right. Things are still feeling uncertain. You're still dealing with this challenge, but the ability to persevere and the ability to continue to show up, that's a leadership trait. Because, family, as we know, this leadership journey that we take, whether we're again leading a group of 20,000, are we leading our family? You know, are we leading our marriage? We're leading ourselves. We are going to face challenges. It's not a matter of if we're going to face challenges, it's a matter of when we're going to face challenges. And how we persevere when we're facing those challenges really is going to help us to exercise that muscle, to exercise that grit muscle, to allow us to be more comfortable being uncomfortable as we go through the next challenge, right? As we go through the next challenge. Okay. So I want to really focus in on that for our discussion today and provide you a framework that, as I, pondered and really kind of thought about it, something that I have to do on a continuous basis. This is something that a practice, and that's what we're talking about. We're taking common sense and we put into common practice. Leadership is a practice. It's a practice. It's a practice, right? So it's something that you have to continue to sharpen. All right. And this thought came from my meditation. I was reading my devotion. I've been reading Romans, um, and I've been reading it now. It's like my third time reading it, and I'll tell you about that why I'm doing that in a couple more episodes. But I came across this verse in which Paul is writing to a group of believers in Rome, and in verse 5, or chapter 5. I'm gonna start with verse 2, or somewhat about that, or in that area, verse 2, the second sentence. And it says, "And we rejoice in the hope of the glory of God. Not only so, but we also rejoice in our suffering, because we know that suffering produce perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope." When I thought about that and thinking about the life of Paul, in moments where he had to persevere, moments where he had to really show grit, moments where he was faced with so many challenges, you know, where he had to demonstrate humility, where he had to do about face, he had to change from some of his ways and now change his habits, right? Change his behaviors, based on this transformation that he was able to encounter. And I thought about that, and I thought about my own leadership journey in moments of challenges, moments of failure, of how I persevere, how did I push on, how did I demonstrate grit? Now, I believe one of my strengths is being that optimistic type of guy. I'm always going to look at things holistically, or try to look at things holistically, and see things on both sides. And really, that has allowed me to shift my perspective. In addition, it has allowed me to really win some challenging battles, especially leading people when we are faced with challenges, right? When we're faced with change, especially change, when you're managing individuals through change, how you shaped this change, and how you demonstrate transparency, how you demonstrate humility. It goes a long way. How you demonstrate authenticity, it goes a long way, right? Where you can kind of provide a holistic view. We can talk about, yeah, it's some bad things, but we know what, there's some good things in this as well, right? So when I thought about that, I thought about, hey, that has been a strength of mine. When I thought about on the other end of it, areas of opportunity, when it came to my own failure, my own challenges, I started to ponder on, how do I push through in moments of where I have to really face um my own demons, when I have to face my own shortcomings, when I have to face my own bad habits, right? That's preventing me from moving forward. How do I continue to push on? How do I continue to push on? And when I thought about it, this framework came to my mind. So I'm going to provide that to you as a way to practice this, right? Practicing pushing through. Before I do that, I want to tell just a quick story. And hopefully I do a great job. I do a good job of telling this to kind of tee up my my framework. So early in my leadership career, I took on a challenge to pursue um, a designation, in which it was financial planning designation, certified financial planner, CFP. And I took on this challenge based on my belief that, hey, I wanted more opportunities. I wanted to learn this knowledge because I felt it would be great for me to have. And oh, by the way, it could also allow me to move and, you know, shape my career path, right? And as I took on this commitment, really realized that, oh, I may have been over my head a little bit. And I pressed on, I studied, I put in work, in which this was about roughly almost 18 months of me dedicating time to studying. And when I took my exam, I failed. And this type of failure, I, I, it was hard for me to digest because I felt devastated that the level of commitment that I put in this, I didn't get the results I was looking for. And I questioned my intellect. I questioned my confidence. I started questioning myself. And I was able to kind of, push through, and I took it the second time. And guess what, family? I failed. So now I'm I'm a little depressed. I'm gonna be quite honest. I went through a moment of being very depressed because I felt I let so many people down. I let down my mentors, my manager that was rooting for me, that was kind of pushing me through, encouraged me to do this. I felt I let down my family because I took time away from them to pursue this. I let down, my family, my mom and dad and all, brothers and sisters. I let them down. You know, I was just feeling so depleted, and I remember it was kind of funny, especially with my kids. I felt I let them down because I felt they wouldn't be able to see me as this very heroic dad. You know, I never forget my daughter Joy when I didn't pass the second time. And they had called me, after my exam, like, "Hey, how did you do?" And I said, "I didn't pass." And Joy said, "You failed again?" Kids sometimes can be so they can be so real. They can be so real. She said, "You failed again?" Like, hold up, buddy. Hey, I had a family. I had to do. Boy, it took me so much to hold it in. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a blow. She hit me low, boy. She hit me low with that. And so I'm questioning at this point. I'm questioning my career. I'm questioning so much. You know, um, and it wasn't until 2 years later I was able to really understand what I was going through. What I mean by that is my mom and dad was in the process. My father, he had a term life insurance, which was pretty much coming to, I guess, term date or aspired. I don't know the proper terminology, but there's a window before your life insurance reaches term date that you can convert it over. In this particular product, we had an opportunity to convert it over into a whole life insurance that way we're able to get the guaranteed death benefit. Okay. So I'm helping my mom and dad go through this process. We had reached out to our insurance agent, and what we was doing, I was pretty much kind of helping them along the way, just kind of coaching them. The insurance agents will provide these type of not these, but like paperwork. So I'll go over the paperwork with them, kind of helping them through the process, explaining it, in terms that they will understand, and really just kind of, being their, I don't know, agent, so to speak, that their middleman. And it wasn't until, we got to the end, was an insurance agent, um, office, and we're signing paperwork, and my mom leaned over to me and whispered, "Thank you." And family, when I think about it now, I still get kind of emotional because I'm telling you, no passing score, no certificate could replace feeling. Like no, nothing could replace that. And in that moment, as I thought about it a little bit more, and I'm crying in the car going to work, I came to this understanding is that never allow others to define your success. Never allow others to define your success. Never measure your success based on what society, what culture says success is. And that allowed me to gain a different perspective. It allowed me to really persevere in that moment of still feeling shameful. It allowed me to see it from a different perspective and understand that, hey, when you take on endeavors, make sure, make sure you understand what success looks like. As you set goals, make sure you understand what success looks like. And that helped me into my next venture, into happyhood, you know? So cause I felt I couldn't, I lost some of my creativity. I felt I wasn't, I didn't have the confidence. It was a confidence blow to me, family. And I needed that moment of redemption, if to think about it and look at it. Oh, you thought you failed, but you succeeded. You completed. You completed the race. You completed the race. Okay. And that's what we're talking about as we persevere, as we push through moments of failure, moments of challenges. We have to look at it in a perspective, in a different perspective of, oh, I get to go through this. Okay. Oh, I can't wait what I'm about to learn about myself with this. Oh, okay. Here comes the challenge. Here comes the discomfort. You know, that change in attitude, that change in attitude, which leads me to my first point, which leads me to my first point. When you are going through challenges, when you are going through seasons where you are being stretched and you're having to change your attitude, change your behavior, you know, the shift in your mindset is going to be the first step. And what I think about that is I think about it from a perspective of posture. What is your posture? How is your posture? Posture, as I define it, is to position yourself in the right attitude. Do you have the right attitude? Do you have the right attitude? A lot of time it starts with our attitude. It starts with our attitude. Things will happen, but our attitude, we got to make sure we have the right attitude. And I thought about this in a way of yoga, in which I love yoga because it not only helps you physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, it's so much that you're able to gain from it. One thing I like about it is as you are doing these different postures and positions, you know, you will feel some discomfort. But what does the yoga instructor tell you to do? Breathe into it. Breathe into it. Bring some oxygen into that discomfort so you can embrace it. And that's what I think about with posture. You know, when you're now faced with the challenge and you like, okay, instead of running away, instead of saying, oh man, I have to do this, oh, I get to do this. Okay. Oh, I can't wait to see what I learn about myself now. I can't wait to see what skill I'm able to develop now. That change in attitude, now you're able to embrace it and you're able to flow with it. No longer resisting, you're able to surrender to it and flow with it. Flow with it. Okay. That's posture to position yourself in the right attitude. Family, today we have to ask ourselves, do I have the right attitude? Do I have the right attitude? That's that's a that's a deep question, family. Sometimes I have to ask myself that. I have to watch my attitude with my kids, with my wife. I have to watch my attitude. And when things are not going your way, instead of taking it out on them, position yourself in the right attitude. Position yourself in the right attitude. The next phase of pushing through, of when we are faced with challenges, how do we persevere? How do we move through it? How do we embrace it? The next thing I want to talk about is unlearning. Unlearning. I think about this in several ways, but I was trying to come up with defining in the context here. I believe it's a way of becoming aware. I think it's a level of awareness that we have to really think about. A level of awareness of our bad habits. Oh, oh, I know, family. This is we cutting deep today. We cutting deep today. We got to be aware of our bad habits and remove false or outdated information. It's twofold. It's awareness and it's removing. Once you become aware, all right, I need to unlearn. I need to remove these false and outdated information. These things that, yeah, it was someone else's experience. It wasn't mine. These things of, yes, it happened to me 10 years ago, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen to me now. These things are, oh, I have a bad habit of having a bad attitude. I have a bad habit of just speaking out when it ain't my time to speak out. I have a bad attitude. I have a bad habit of looking at things negatively. I have a bad habit of going on sites that I know I shouldn't go on sites. Hello, hello, you know. And what I'm trying to get you to understand is these not becoming aware of your bad habits and not removing false and outdated information is preventing you from pushing forward. It's preventing you. And again, family, I want to say is that this is not something that, oh, we're just going to a day or like a switch. Pew! Okay, I'm gonna unlearn this. No, no, family, this can take some years. This is a practice. You have to continue to do. You have to continue to exercise this muscle because this is a practice. This is a practice. This is a practice. This is a practice. Become aware of your bad habits and remove false or outdating information. Okay. We have to do that. You have to do that. Okay. And this is again, is not something that's going to be easy, or simple. It's not. You gotta really put in the work. It may require you to seek counseling. Okay. It may require you to seek counseling. And it's again removing that false and outdated information that sometimes that's your religion, your parents. Mm, mm. We get into some moments of really some trauma that we have to go through, that we have to address, some unprocessed things we have to address in this phase here. Unlearning, unlearning. Hey family, if this is something that you're enjoying, do me a favor, like, subscribe, make sure you get your notification on. Share this with someone. Share this with someone. The next thing I want to talk about is what I feel is this is the period where the rubber meets the road. This is the period where, as we have now positioned ourselves in the right attitude posture, as we have unlearned, unlearning, becoming aware, and removing false and outdated information. Okay. We got to check one more thing as we continue to push through, as we continue to persevere through these challenges, right? It's no longer that I have to do it. I get to do it. Yeah, I get to do this. See what I'm going to learn now. Oh, I can't wait to see how I grow now. Oh, I'm about to grow. I'm about to grow. I'm about to grow. We have to check one thing, and that is our commitment. I'm calling this staying power. I thought about this in a different ways of I'm understanding now, family, that motivation is only going to go so far. And a lot of times we are motivated. We're motivated starting a new business. We're motivated starting a new job. We're motivated, with this. We're motivated doing this. We're motivated doing that. But then when motivation run out, uh-oh, uh-oh. When motivation runs out, we now have to shift into commitment, because that is going to help us to breed our discipline. That's going to help us to foster and develop discipline. Discipline. And a lot of times, family, and this is me. Oh, please believe the reason that you stop, the reason that you didn't go as long as you should have of reaching your goal is because you was not committed. You was not committed. You didn't have that level of commitment. Because level of commitment is you got to go further than motivated. I'm motivated, dude. You got to be disciplined. Now we are exercising that discipline muscle. And the reason why you can't get there from here is simply you're not disciplined enough. You're not disciplined enough. You're not disciplined enough because you got to be committed. You got to be committed. And it is truly a really, when you think about it, it is a strong question you have to ask yourself. Only you can answer this. Only you can answer this. And only you can really ask yourself this. And that is, how committed are you? How committed are you? How committed are you? Do you have staying power that, hey, I'm gonna keep going. Yeah, I know I haven't seen the results, right? I know I was motivated to go through this challenge. Yeah, new challenge. I'm growing. And then when things start to, oh man, how long I gotta do this? I'm tired. I'm weary. Are you committed? Are you committed? I feel at times, family, and this is why I try to hold it in, that we're like 2 or 3 steps away from the breakthrough, but we lose our endurance because we don't have the level of commitment. And I'm talking to myself when I say that. I'm talking to myself when I say that. We don't have that level of commitment. We always think that, oh, man, we always think that it's gonna be easy, or it doesn't have to be this hard, or it shouldn't take this long. We start comparing ourselves to different people. And I feel at times we're 2 to 3 steps away. We 2 to 3 steps away from reaching our goal. But what we do is that we give up too soon. We give up too soon. I'm talking again to myself, family. I told you this is gonna be very transparent. We're gonna be transparent and authentic today, you know, because this is a practice, and this is only you can answer these questions. Only you, because you got to put in work. You got to put in work. You got to be committed. to this. And many times the reason why you don't reach your goal is because you're not committed. You got to have staying power that no matter what, I'm staying in it. I'm going to see it. I'm going to see it through. I'm going to finish what I start. Finish what you start. This is why we say this is a lifestyle. Finish what you start. I'm committed to it. I ain't leaving. I'm not leaving. Nope. It's not a matter of if it's going to happen. It's when it's going to happen. It's a matter of when, not if, when, not if, when, not if, when, not if, when. Say it with me. Not if, when, but when is going to happen. When is going to happen. And that leads me to the last point, family. To kind of put this all together is as you go through these moments, right? As you go through these moments, as you go through these moments, as I wipe my face, hope, hope. What is your hope? What is your hope in? Mm. What is your hope in? And hope is you got to have that unwavering faith, that belief. As I said before, it is not a matter of if it's going to happen. It's when it's going to happen. When everyone has left you, then your loved ones, your family, they may say, why are you still doing this? You know, you should, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You done did it for this long. Maybe you should change. Never forget someone in my, they wasn't even early on my career when I was going, for a role and I was going for a role in brokerage. I was going to get my Series 7, go into the brokerage, do trading. And I applied for this job 2 times and didn't get it. And I never forget when I got the second, um, you know, feedback or the report, when the manager said, maybe you should just try something else. I was like, nope, because mm, mm, it's not a matter of if it's going to happen, it's when. And I got the third time, family, and I got it. So it's not a matter of if it's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen. Because I got unwavering faith, I got hope. And you gotta, and this again, I know it's hard to do, but you gotta level up your expectations. You gotta level up your expectations. Say, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna finish this. It's not about if it's going to happen. It's a matter of when it's going to happen. Because faith, you know where I'm going with this, right? Hebrews 11. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. What you hoping for, family? The evidence of things not seen. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You don't even see it yet. In moments of when you don't even see it, are you going to be still in the right posture? Are you going to be able to unlearn some bad habits? Are you going to have that staying power, that level of commitment? Are you going to have that hope that, you know what, I still believe in myself, I still believe in what I've been called to do by God. I still believe. At the end of the day, I still believe. Do you still believe? Don't never let anyone take that from you, family. Never allow anyone to take your hope from you. Because you got to know deep down inside that you was called to do this. You was called to do this. You was marked to do this. And only nobody else can do it in this world. Only you can, because God has called you to do it. Nobody else can do it, family. You got to do it. All right. You have to do it. Family, I hope this has been enjoyable. Um, as you have seen me now, get a little emotional. I have enjoyed it. I love doing this. I pray that you have benefited from it. Um, Again, share it, like it, make sure you subscribe. We got plenty more of episodes coming during this series of School of Leadership. Follow me on Instagram, Happy Hood, Happy_Hood, for some additional leadership tips. And hey, know that you were created for greatness. So be strong and confident. And no matter what life may bring you, love God, love yourself, love your neighbor. I'm your favorite neighbor, Jay Murray. Till next time, be blessed.